Welcome. It's Brenda Lainof of Healing the Healers, Healing Healers Pathogenics, Practice Light Language, and my company whisperingenergetic.ca. So today I'm excited because I'm going to be speaking with Angelique Duffield, and I've known Angelique for over about 10 years now. And before we begin, I just want to tell you about Angelique. So I was speaking to Angelique some time ago because she was helping me with the product that I have on my website. And I thought, let's have you come on and, talk about how to make things simple for people like myself who are, entrepreneurs and, we're in these, somewhat stressful times to say the least, and just help us, so we're not feeling so overwhelmed. So Angelique Duffield is a web designer, an online strategist, a Canva design templates creator. She helps coaches, speakers, solopreneurs like myself create an irresistible online presence and attract more clients without the tech or design overwhelm. And now I've known Angelique, we're going back a good 10 years. So welcome, Angelique.
Thank you, Brenda. It's really nice to be here. And yeah, we have known each other for a very long time and worked in all sorts of capacities together.
We have, and I just have to tell everyone, Angelique is so nicely tanned because what she does? She has this lifestyle of where she can work on the road if she chooses to. And, she's living the life that probably many of us would love to do. And so this whole idea of how we have to keep things simple, and more so now than ever, because our attention span is very limited. I know for myself, it certainly is. So this is a great topic about keeping our systems simple as entrepreneurs. So just a little bit of a background, again. So Angelique, we've known her about 10 years. I didn't have a clue when I set up my website, and she has guided me along on so many journeys, starting from creating a website. She would train me online. We did Skype calls back then. Then I would have the recording I could refer to. She's a very good teacher. I know she's taught at a college. So she doesn't make you feel stupid, to be very blunt. She guides you along so that you can just, get the information that you need and just move along and not get overwhelmed, because for most of us, this is not our major, avenue of creating income. We do what we do, but then we need this, the social media and all of this to assist us with our business. So this isn't our main thing. But Angelique also has been around so many people, most likely like us, who do energy work. And so she gets us. And that's really important when you get someone who gets what you do. They don't necessarily have to do what you do, but they understand that we can be in this woo-woo land. And, she works with that. So what would be your number one thing, Angelique, about how you would help to keep our systems simple? What would you suggest to the average person like myself, has an online presence, and we can get so intimidated and we can get so frozen? I have to do this, I have to do that, and we can shut down. What would you say would be the number one thing about how can we eliminate that overwhelm in social media?
Well, that's a brilliant question, because I think things have gotten more challenging, not just during COVID, but even since I've known you. So if we've known each other for 10 years, the internet space has gotten so much more attention grabbing, and there's so many more social networks to sign up for and so many more things to do in our businesses that the biggest thing is to choose the right tool for the job. And that is, setting up some simple systems. It doesn't have to be really complicated. And sometimes people get intimidated by the word system, and anything can be a system if you just have a checklist in a Google document, for example. It doesn't have to be an elaborate system. It's just something that works for you. It doesn't have to be high tech versus, some people prefer something like, Trello or Asana for their project management. It's whatever is right for you. And I think the biggest thing is people don't ask the right questions when they're choosing whatever software they're using, their website, or which social network to be on. So they post something on social media in their Facebook group, and everybody has an opinion, of course. So everybody comes back and says, oh, I love this one and I like this one, but they haven't qualified their question. And I've actually got a video for this on Instagram. So one of the things, I'll provide Brenda with some links. So any resources that I mention or any examples, I'll provide those for Brenda, and she can send that out in her newsletter with the recording after, so that you can go and take a look at what I'm talking about. Because we want to keep our call simple too. So we'll provide the links after for you to access. But in the video, I just talk about choosing what's right for you. So asking some questions like, when you're asking for help, say, I'm super techie, or I'm not very techie at all. What your budget is for things, thinking about your business model too. So when people just ask a random question like, which website theme should I use? Or which email service should I use? That is so general, because everybody's at different levels in their business. Maybe they have a team helping them. Maybe they're super techie and they find it all really easy. Or maybe you've got, you're starting out and you've just got a lower budget, or it's just you working by yourself. So you're wearing all the hats. So it's really important to qualify when you're asking questions, and then kind of evaluate what people are recommending. And even just, if someone recommends something, or 5 or 6 people recommend, something like Podia is what I'm loving right now, because it's a super simple course platform, and it's got your checkout and designing your course, your sales pages. It's all in one. And I recommend that to my clients now because it's really easy. I've had clients come to me that have used ClickFunnels and Kartra, and those are really robust all-in-one systems. But if you're not techie, it can be so overwhelming. So they've changed and pared down to something really simple. And for some clients, just having ConvertKit or MailChimp or something and PayPal is just enough for their business. It depends how you're serving your customers too. Like for the longest time, for example, Brenda was just using Acuity for her scheduled bookings, because you were mostly doing one-on-one calls, right? So we had set you up, and people can pay in Acuity, they can book the schedule, Brenda can include her Zoom link, she can include the intake questionnaire, and it even includes reminders. So that is a little system in itself, and it's really easy to set up, and it's really easy for your customers to use, it's easy for you, and it doesn't have to be more complicated than that if you're mostly doing one-on-one in your business. So that's a really good example of a simple system.
Perfect. Yes. So what would you suggest, like, for using some, good templates and repurposing the content? Like, what would be, again, it can be just so overwhelming. Is there some examples that you can give as to templates that that you could share?
Okay, we'll break those up into 2 different parts. So templates, again, is something that you set up for yourself. Like, if you're always replying with, say, some people ask the same questions over and over by email or in your Facebook Messenger or even a Facebook group that you have, or Instagram DMs, then you might want to write down your answer and put them in a Google Doc and have a whole bunch of, canned replies. And Instagram direct message actually has canned replies that you can set up. Gmail has canned replies that you can set up. So if somebody asks that question, you can just reply with your canned reply. But it can be as easy as saving it in a Word document, for example, and copying it. Or on my iPhone, I've got notes, and I can see it on my computer as well. So I can go back and forth and just copy and paste it. So that is, it's a template, and it's a system that you set up for yourself to easily save yourself time, because we all get the same questions over and over. Like for me, it's, should I be using, Squarespace or WordPress, or is it better if I use which email service provider? And I give them, a little bit, a few examples of why you might pick one over the other. So I've got a few paragraphs that I just copy into an email. And even better,
Okay.
here's where it's moving into a system. You can take those answers, especially things that people are asking you all the time. That is perfect topic ideas for your audience. So you can make a video about it. You can make a Facebook post or Instagram stories or IGTV, make a YouTube video or a Facebook Live. And then you've got the content out there. And then when someone emails you or asks you in a Facebook group, or maybe you're on LinkedIn and you're in a group or something like that, or on Quora as a place where people ask questions, then you can link to your own blog post or your own video, and it gets traffic to your website, it gets traffic to your Facebook or your Instagram, and you've set up a little system so that it saves you time. And, like I said, you're getting traffic to it, you might get comments and questions, and it just keeps the topics flowing for you, and you can just reuse those. So that's, kind of templates and a system. So,
I just have to stop you there because already I'm just feeling a little bit of overwhelm right now when you're talking about all of this, and my anxiety is starting to rise. So for most of us here, so this is something that when you have, your one-to-one call with you, your coaching call, you can discuss all of these options and say, and then based on whatever this person does, it's like, what, whomever you're speaking to, I think this would be the best strategy for you.
Yes.
Because it really, and even though I've been doing this for many years, as you're saying, like the technology is just increasing like crazy, and we get kind of stuck in the same things that we do, and then you can feel you're falling behind, and we just need that, okay, take a deep breath. This is the route that we need to go. So if we don't get it all right today with what you're speaking about, we can simply meet with you, talk about the different options, solutions, and then you can kind of guide us to, okay, based on your type of business and your contacts, number, maybe people that are on your newsletter list, or maybe they don't have a newsletter, this is what I would suggest.
Yes, and sometimes it's just a matter of you don't want to sift through everything yourself because
right.
There's endless information on the internet. We're not short of information, and that's part of what causes overwhelm. So what one-on-one strategy calls, I first send you an intake questionnaire so I learn a bit more about your business, and then get on a call. We have a discussion about where what your goals are. Are you going to be creating a course? Do you mostly do one-on-one services? And then I just give you some examples of what I would suggest, some easy tools that you can use. The next step is things that I could set up for you. Whether if you're new to business and you need a new website, most people aren't setting those up on their own if they're not very techy, right? You're running your business in your zone of genius. You probably won't know how to do everything. That's why, we've all got our area of expertise. And yes, so I help people to narrow down those choices and make better decisions, and then give them a step-by-step guide. And then they also get the report too, so they can refer back to it, because we forget so many things in the call. And, I send them like a little, a brief of notes and some tasks for them that they can, follow the outlines or some links to follow at their own time.
Well, what I like when I've been working with you is that, if we have our one-on-one coaching call on Zoom, most likely, then, you've got the replay. So if you feel like, oh, I missed that part, it's perfect. You can come back to whatever area that you feel you need further assistance with. So, and that's what we need. Sometimes we just need, okay, we need assistance. We need our hands held for a period of time. And then, go as far as you can. And if you feel kind of stuck, perhaps that's where you pick up another call with yourself and sort of move through it. That's awesome.
Brenda, you're a great example of this, because when we started, you were really scared and intimidated by your website.
I was. And I would get such anxiety. I honestly, I must have, my adrenal glands must have got so worn out because I was in that fight and flight, and oh, I've messed up, and oh, just tremendous anxiety, self-created. But
But you're not the only one. Lots of people are super anxious about technology or about
right,
something. And
right. And we can have triggers. The thing is that there can be triggers from, maybe in school you got triggered, or you're triggered from something that happened at school, and it leads into this. And then you feel, oh, I'm stupid, I can't do it. And it could be you're dealing with other emotional issues, of course. So a person could go that route, but definitely. So no, I really like how you can be so patient when a person's impatient, like I've been several times. So I appreciate that.
And I just wanted to point out that it's just practice, because
Hmm.
Brenda had done your talk show, your talk show has been around
Yes,
for what, 3, 4, 5 years. So when you first started, you were really super nervous about it. I made a template for you, so
right,
how to create the Canva graphics, and then you just drag in the pictures and put the text of the person
right,
topic, and how to insert that in your website, and then how to do the summary bullet points. And then you were able to send that out in your newsletter and post that on Facebook. So once you did it a few times, I'm sure you've noticed
right.
it, you're less anxious about it, you feel more
It
confident.
is.
Most things are just a bit of practice, right? It's
It
scary.
is. Yes, practice for obviously everything in our life. It's just that we can get those moments of just feeling really triggered, like we can't do it, and you don't have the experience, and it really is a matter of pushing through. And Angelique, people don't realize this, but she's a professional photographer. So I was fortunate to be living in the same city. And when I was doing some live presentations, Angelique did some great, photos. And when I was in different events, that also really helped too. But for today, again, just want to make it very simple, and there's so many areas that we can go, and I think at the end of the day, you're able to offer this, okay, I can hold your hand here, we're going to go through it, find out what's best for you, and then you're not feeling maybe so overwhelmed and have that anxiety that I went through. I still go through it at different times for sure, but it's definitely, the more that we do something, the less anxiety we have, and I guess that's for most anything in life.
For sure. And also picking the right tools for the job. Again,
Mm.
if someone has set up something that is way beyond your tech skills because somebody recommends it, um,
Mm-hmm.
like when people use Infusionsoft, for example, I've known clients who've spent a lot of money and had,
Mm.
needed a virtual assistant to manage that, or they tried to do it themselves, and it's an expensive system. It does so much, but 90% of the people don't need everything that it does. So A, you don't need to pay for it. B, you don't need to have something that causes you so much anxiety that you can't do yourself. So
Mm.
pare it back. And it goes the other way too, that when we start our businesses,
Mm-hmm.
we're starting on a shoestring, or you're not sure what direction your business is going, or your business model changes. So when you
Mm.
start, you might have lots of free resources, but then sometimes it makes more sense to have the paid upgrade, because it just saves you so much more time,
Mm.
instead of band-aid putting things together. Get rid of a few systems and upgrade, pay a bit of money. Like I said, that's part of why I like Podia, because it does a lot of things together. um, and have a simplified system that's all in one place. So again, it just depends where you are in your business and your skills and
Right.
the type of services that you offer. So it's just back to that, choosing the right tool for the job, and that's going to be different for everybody, and for the level. If you've been in business 10 years, you might have a team that does different things for you.
Well, and 10 years is a long time. Your interests change, your direction changes, the economy changes, politically things change, at all levels. So that can change revise your direction within your business as well.
And you're
So it constantly updating.
And you're an example of that too, because you started offering one-on-one services, and
Mhm.
now you're offering your group programs. And so now it's become like a little, like a group coaching, or, things that they can do at their own pace. So now you're creating courses essentially, and master classes that's adding to your repertoire, right? up-leveling your business, you want to, teach many people instead of just one-on-one because you don't have as much time. So that's the next level of a lot of people's businesses too.
Right.
Courses, like creating courses so that you can sell them over and over and over again. So it takes the time, of course, to create it once, but then once you've put your knowledge in, sometimes this comes from what people are asking you. All the questions that I get asked, I've turned my one-on-one coaching knowledge into the courses that I'm running.
Right.
And same with the Canva templates that I offer. I started creating those because I was doing custom design work for people. And then other people were saying, do you have anything that I could do myself? So, well, I could create some of these. So I made those to sell. So it's your customers help you to find that direction. So
Right.
being aware of where your customers are at, as well as where you're at in your time. You don't always want to trade time for dollars, and your time gets more valuable. And maybe an ebook is something easy for you to create and either sell or give away as your freebie. So all those things are how your business is progressing, and that's exactly what you've done.
Well, I know for myself, one level I want to obtain here within the next year is a membership group,
Oh yeah,
and it's just getting clear on that. And
yeah.
so that's the type of thing that if somebody's interested in having that ongoing, consistent revenue, you could help with just getting them kind of centered. Okay, this is how it would look, and to promote them on your newsletters, etc. So.
And the other thing too is deciding, is it better to create a course versus a membership site?
Ah, good. No, that's a good question, because you can go through the efforts of creating it, and then people can't make it that month, and so no, that's a good point, Angelique.
And you have to keep creating content inside a membership. So sometimes a
True.
course might be better for you. Maybe it's a $50 course, or a $500 or $1,000 course, or a course plus some one-on-one time with you, like a bit of
Yes.
a premium price, an upsell. So you've got 2 tiers in your course. So all those sort of questions that I have to make those decisions, and then either help them set it up or say, here's, like I said, Podia has a membership site and the courses and the checkout and coupons that makes it super easy. And I recommend it because it's such an easy system. Like I said, I've worked with clients who've come from different systems that are really
right. And it's called Podia. How do you spell that?
Podia.
And
So,
that's it. And so this is the one that I know you got a lot of experience. This is the one that you would really recommend people look into now.
it's really nice and simple, and they've got excellent customer service. They've got Q&A sessions every week. So if you kind of get stuck, they've got an entire course on its own. But it's one of the most user-friendly course platforms, and it's reasonably priced, because something like My Kajabi, you're going to pay a lot more money for it, and maybe you don't need all the extra bells and whistles, or maybe you don't need certain things that are included in it. But Podia is just really easy, and with the clients that I work with, I find that's a really good entry level to courses, and they can manage it themselves. Like I said, Infusionsoft is so complicated, or ClickFunnels or Kartra, and there's so many things you can do, which is great if you've got a team, if you're techie, if you need all of those 21 different funnels. Literally, I heard somebody talk about that. That's how her business model is set up. So you can set things up on autopilot. Well, that's great, but not everybody's going to do that. Most people, well, let me also clarify, a funnel is really just when somebody signs up for your newsletter, for example, you're growing your email list, you're giving them something free in exchange for their email. So it could be an ebook, and at the end of this, I'm going to give a free gift that you'll have access to. So Brenda will post the link and in the Facebook group, and also in her newsletter, and you'll be able to see. So essentially, that's a little funnel. So you go to my landing page, you put in your email, I give you this little guide and infographic that helps you to find 50 different places that you can share your own opt-ins and offers. And then after that, you get a delivery email that gives you the link to it. And then after that, there will be 1 or 2 more emails that are related that help you work through it. So that's a funnel. That's really what a marketing funnel is. You know, you're helping people through education-based marketing. So you're teaching them, giving some value, then you talk about your services, and it's kind of a bit of a play that
Okay.
gets people to know you and your services. You're providing value, and then essentially they're going to know, like, and trust you, and then buy from you as, you know, as your relationship grows.
Well, I have to ask you about Canva. Now, I have, as of yet, not spent time. I know that I purchased from yourself this program. It was a great
A template.
offer.
Yeah.
And it's a matter of, and you know, with everything that's going on, especially right now, we can get very, very scattered. So I do intend just to slot off, you know, a morning away from clients. I still want the clients, that's not an issue, but I just need to, you know, spend time with that because you've got all this wonderful information. Do you find that many people are really using Canva? And do you think Canva is really the way to promote your business?
I think Canva has taken design and made it easy for the average person. So
Okay.
it's not that you don't need to hire a graphic designer if you're at that level, but
Mhm.
for a lot of people's needs, they don't need Photoshop, which is what was the standard before. And it's it's overkill again. It can
Mhm.
be complicated, but Canva provides really simple design tools plus templates. You know, it's got everything in one place. So it's probably the most popular design uh,
Okay.
software, and it's online. They've now got it an offline desktop version. They've got an app on your phone, and you can create your social media graphics. So they've got their own templates that you can just search through it once you've created your own. Like, for example, on my Instagram, you'll see that I've got some quote templates, and then just any of my videos and any of my posts that I'm teaching how to do something. So again, kind of education marketing with a few tips on one of my
Mhm.
the Canva shortcuts. So I just give 5 different slides, and it gives on each slide is one shortcut. So
Right. And that's okay, perfect. And that's when you need to, again, spend the time and just do it. And then my question is, because so many of us do so many things. It's just not, this is what I do. It could be you got a lot of training in different modalities, and you know, you're able to jump from this to this to that. How does that uh, how do you transition or can you merge that into one general Canva advertisement? Like how would that work? You know, if I'm doing my light language, if I'm doing, you know, what a body code, emotion code, or whatever that is there a way that you kind of bring that together and promote yourself in Canva?
I
Do
think
you think?
the biggest thing that you'd want to do is have consistent branding. So that's
Hmm.
where people start to recognize your style. So back to my Instagram, mine
Okay.
mine's just, again, really a simple system. It's got an orange or a lime green border. It's got
Hmm.
a specific font, and you would see it on my page. And if I shared it on Facebook or in my newsletter,
Hmm.
get to recognize it. So picking 2 or 3 colors, like on Brenda's website, it's orange, dark blue, and brown. I think it is now. It sounds really dark, but
Hmm.
it's not. And when we changed your website from like 10 years ago, it was really dark feeling with those colors, but we kept those colors, and it feels quite vibrant, right? So keeping those colors, and then the fonts, and maybe a design element. Maybe it's very soft and feminine, or maybe mine is quite bright colors. So that is one of the easiest ways to make your, to link up your website and your
Okay.
social
And
media posts. Keep
you
it
know what? I'm going to share my website. I mean, you know, people need to see the type of thing that we're talking about here.
It's only,
So
I think
here
that's
we
right.
go.
Okay.
So this is what we're looking at. And this is what Angelique had created now 10 years ago. So if you're looking as to, which again, she's talking about the colors, this is the type of thing. Um, Now, if you want to talk about it, Angelique, and I can just move along,
Sure.
or
Well, this is a good example of branding. So I think it was probably about 5 years ago, but I make,
Right.
even my websites, I keep them really clean and
Mm-hmm.
simple so that they don't go out of date. Because I think someone in your group, was it Tara, I think her name is, who had said, she doesn't feel like it looks outdated in any way. If you saw it
Right. She did. That's right.
yeah, you don't think that it has, you think it's been created, in the last year or so. So the colors that we've used, like even Brenda's logo,
Mm-hmm.
the kind of circle, that's in orange. And, she's got a nice little scripty font and it's a little bit playful.
Mm-hmm.
Using these colors everywhere, like on your graphics, when you share your talk show episodes,
Mm-hmm.
um, go to show episodes, I think or scroll down the page. So everything is just keeping the same colors and fonts, and even the
Right.
circles, you were using that before. I don't think you use that as much anymore, but just keep scrolling down. And this is an example of Brenda's newsletter at the top there, the orange box. So like I said, talking about a little mini funnel. So when you join Brenda's health and wellness, or when you join her newsletter, she gives you an audio and then her health and wellness tips. So that is a little funnel. So you sign up, you get the audio, and then she continues to give you, education-based marketing, some tips to help you live a better life. So that is a little mini funnel. And of course, that's the biggest thing that you want to have on your website to turn
This is
viewers into
right.
potential clients.
Right. So this is the funnel that you were talking about.
And you can see the colors are consistent. I think Brenda
Mm-hmm.
posts things.
I still really like the colors. I've never tired of the colors after all these years. So I'm still, there's always
So
colors that you just gravitated towards.
go ahead to your show episodes at the top. So this is Brenda's talk show that she'd had for years. And I'm not sure if you're putting your other shows on there. So scroll.
This has been a while because I've been doing more Zoom right now.
So, okay, so
But
these
yeah,
but
so right. So I sort of,
okay, that's fine. So
I do my best. They're not as, maybe as clear as, but these are some of the
so
radio show interviews that go back some time.
and
So,
keep
mhm.
scrolling a little bit more. We'll see if we find one of the graphics. So I'd created like a little template for Brenda to use. And now you're just using the picture because you've changed from TalkShoe to just using Zoom.
Wow, I have been lately, right? Um, so anyways, yeah, so that is just some examples of,
So
of the show episodes, right?
so let's just talk about repurposing because that's
Mm.
another really big way to save yourself time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, you might as well just go to your homepage, or you can just
Oh, okay. I'll just go to my homepage.
so one of the big things that I really encourage clients to do, especially when we're doing, longer term work together, accountability is huge because we all fall off the bandwagon. We all get not just overwhelmed, but we are trying to multitask and do so many things. So trying to just focus on one or two things at a time. And
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to repurposing, we all create these, whether it's podcast episodes or your talk show, videos that we put on YouTube or Facebook Lives, blog posts that we write, and videos that we record on IGTV or wherever we're putting them now. Don't just stop there because you've created that really valuable content.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a few ways that you can repurpose it. You can, like Brenda was doing, make a few notes into a blog post. So you insert the link for your video. So yours could be interviews, it could be audio interviews, it could be a Zoom, it could be Facebook Live. So you can even embed that on your website or a YouTube video. It's really easy now to just drop the link in there and it happens, it just shows the player automatically. So that has improved over time and made it so much easier than when I started with Brenda. We had to use, different plugins to make that happen. But now you can just, make a blog post with a link to your Zoom call, for example. And
Right.
the Zoom just lives in your Dropbox. It doesn't even have to be uploaded to YouTube, but you want to share that more than one time. So maybe one time you share it with a little quote graphic that somebody has said in your interview. Or you can share, just when you're first introducing the person, you could just have a little blurb about who this person is, and here's the topic for the day. And that could be another Facebook post, and then you can share it on Instagram, and then you can share the blog post on
Right.
your
And it's,
newsletter.
like
And
you
just
say, it's repurposing. And so it's getting set up. You can help person get set up on Instagram, Canva. It's just getting everything into place and having that first time. And then it really sets the stage of just continuing forward. So that's what
like,
we need, Angelique.
like we talked about, the more you do it, the more you get used to it.
Yes.
Just having the steps for yourself. Okay, I've recorded this Zoom video. What do I do now? Next,
Right.
upload it to YouTube, and then I'll write a blog post, and then I'll share the video on Facebook, and then I'll share the graphic on Instagram.
And I
So
think and that's where I know personally myself that I need to get, because I've been so scattered with so many things, is just like just what you said, outline it, and then you've got it there, and then just to follow up. So I'm looking forward to catching up with you, Angelique, and just getting a streamline here. And it's going to make you feel way more in control in a pretty chaotic time. And the
well,
more structure that we can have, I think you're just going to feel better
yeah,
mentally.
but also it's a shame to create. We spend a lot of time, whether we're writing blogs. If you're good at writing, then write blogs. If you're good at talking, then
Or
do
whatever it is, yes.
and then reusing that. But besides reusing it right away and sharing it on social media, for example, 6 months later, you're going to have new people who are following you on Facebook.
Yes.
You're going to have new people on your newsletter. So the next step is just saying, wait a minute, I've created all this. Maybe it's like right now, I know you're really busy because this is a really great time for people who are
Yeah, it is.
and people need, we need all the positivity, and we're trying to heal the world right now. So
Well, and just the creativity that's coming through with that 21-day light language abundant business course that I created, that then I was like, how do I market this? And okay, well, we'll do it this way. And so it's just all these ideas can come in because people are looking for solutions. And
and
so we can get really scattered.
not just scattered, but you're too close to it. Like when you're telling me, when I'm asking you questions and you're excited about, I'm like, that really lights you up, and that would be easy for you. And you're like, really? I wouldn't have thought about doing
Exactly. I agree with you on that.
yeah, I can help you see the forest for the trees, for
You
example.
can. Well, and I know you're a very good teacher, and I think you taught at a college in Kelowna. Did you not for a while?
For 4 years.
Yeah,
I developed my own 11-week course, and
pretty
also
good.
I worked with my own clients. I pulled it into courses, and now that's kind of what I'm creating my own courses and selling my courses too. So you have a question in my business.
Well, not only that, I know you've worked with Chantal Adams, who is a big speaker, motivational speaker, and out in Kelowna, and she was drawing in huge crowds. I was actually attended that many years ago. So yeah, you've got lots of experience, and I again appreciate you just want to help people create a system that we can keep adding to it, and it's consistent. That's what we need. So that's really awesome.
Yeah. And the important thing is to just schedule some time outside of
Yes.
client work to actually do some planning. And like you said, take an afternoon off. Maybe it's learning, and you're going to learn Canva because you haven't put enough effort into it. Once you do
Right.
it, and then you'll feel more comfortable using it.
Right.
It could also just be planning what your content is going to be. Like if you are promoting your light language, or if you're promoting podcast episodes, for example, what am I going to talk about for the next month? What's related to my courses that are coming up, or what's related to a workshop I'm presenting or speaking about somewhere?
Okay.
And create the content about it. So maybe because I'm teaching about like the Canva templates and planning opt-in freebies. So if you look at my Instagram feed for the last few weeks, I talked about just giving branding examples and color examples, and what do you think of this mood board? So all of that is relating to design. So maybe next month I'll be talking about social media, and the next month I'll be talking about design. So that's where we when you introduced me, you'd given some bullet points what we're going to talk about, and we talked about content buckets. So that's another way to beat overwhelm, and think about how your business, how you help the people, where are people at that are finding you? So new clients, do they need different help than somebody who's more experienced, or someone who's just kind of dipping their toes into alternative medicines, right? So
Exactly.
they've tried other maybe they've been told they need surgery or something, and you can come along and say, here's a different way of thinking about it. Maybe this is a solution for you. So those people who are skeptical will be different than people who are believers and who have used naturopaths and
Right.
Reiki and people who
Right.
testing and emotion code. So those people will be more open to it. So you're going to talk to them differently in your social media.
Exactly. Wow, that's awesome. You've got so much information, and again, I appreciate the fact that you've worked with so many people like myself that are in this, alternative type of work, and yet, we're also business people as well. We're missing, we're missing this huge part of it, and that's where you come along. So now I'm going to be posting this here, and I'll create within my groups of a link that you said that you can meet with you, and you can help with the blog post, social media. So you have a special, and it includes a coupon code that expires in a while. So do you want to talk about that?
Sure. So I've got the free gift, like I said, is just my opt-in freebie to help you find places where you can promote yourself on social media. And it's not just social media, it's, even in your emails and things. So I've got 50
Mm-hmm.
pages where you can promote your freebies and your offers when you're making announcements of your new
Good.
programs and services. And then there's a little step-by-step guide and a video where I actually demonstrate some examples of where people have got really good examples of what I'm talking about.
Good.
So
Good.
that's a freebie for you, and Brenda will share the link. And then I'm providing Brenda as a gift to all of you who are watching. So for the next week, there's a coupon code that will get you 40% off any of my courses
Perfect.
in my online shop. So
Okay.
that will actually show you what Podia looks like, for example,
Good.
what the storefront looks like, and then
Okay.
what it's like to create a course if you work through any of my courses. So yeah, so
Awesome. Well, I will be sharing that here shortly. So, well, that's great, Angelique. So many of us entrepreneurs really need this right now. It's because there's so much more online presence. We're in our homes. We're not maybe going to the office, or maybe we're stepping out, and for the first time, we're thinking about doing this, but just again overwhelmed because there's so much information, and where do we begin? So by having that one-to-one call with you, and like, okay, this is what I'm doing, and blah blah blah, what do you suggest would be the best way for me to go? So thank you so much. I'm feeling calmer because I know that I'm going to get up to speed, and I just need to set time aside for me, and not being, because I have to. And maybe it's something doesn't feel natural, but I know that when I maybe that's not the right word, but when I work my way through Canva, for example, I'll be like, well, Brenda, what were you so stressed about? It was like my first number of times, doing interviews. Oh, Brenda, what are you so worried about? At the end of the day, I can always delete it. So, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, there's very few things that break that, and usually
Exactly.
anyway. So that's the biggest stress. If you can just think, I'm not going to break anything. I'm just going to try.
No, not the end of the world.
Whether it's videos or interviews or tech or whatever, just
Letting
try.
go of the judgment, worrying about being judged, which is a huge, huge factor for all of us, is the judgment, worrying about being judged.
Exactly. And honestly, you might get some negative comments, but really there's a lot of trolls out there. The positive comments you get, and if you think of you're helping that one person that gives
Exactly.
you that comment that says, oh my God, this is so much what I needed to see today, or oh wow, I never knew how to do that, or I didn't know how this worked. Right? You're showing, like, for you and for anyone who's doing holistic holistic medicine, holistic practitioners, showing them a different way of seeing things. You know, you've given them an alternative to what they've always seen. So what
Right.
it is, we've all got these gifts to share. We've all got our zone of genius, and just sharing it with the world a little bit more, stepping out of our comfort zone, you know,
Exactly.
sharing things to help you save time, reuse
Yes.
things, breaking things into little chunks like your podcast here. You could take little snippets or, you know,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
to it back and just transcribe it, or use a transcription service. They're super cheap. And then just put those chunks into like
Oh,
social media too.
so many ideas, and you're going to help us streamline everything. So, and I mean, it's there, and it's just a matter of creating a habit of, on that Friday, like I know you set me up on Acuity many years ago, Monday to Thursday, and I have Friday unless I, want to, have sessions, and which I do at times, but really a day for me just to
Yeah,
take a
yeah.
deep breath and what is it that I want to do, that I need to get up to speed on. So
And
just
not just up
a
to
good
speed.
reminder.
We all tend to get lost in the helping clients, right? We're
Yes.
working
Well,
in
we
our,
do.
and we forget that, well, we need to keep marketing and keep expanding our,
Yes.
not just learning, but, well, now that I'm booked out with clients 2 months from now, maybe I
Right.
should create a course, because then I can help more people. You know, most of us
Right.
are in the service business so that we can help people. You know,
Exactly.
we want to help people live better lives in whatever way it is that we help people. So yeah,
Right.
the next,
Exactly.
not just self,
Ah,
giving ourselves time and giving ourselves grace when we don't understand things. When you think of
mm,
learning to ride a bike, or
yeah.
um, learning to speak another language, like we were all crap at it at first, but we didn't
Mm,
quit, you know. So when you're just starting,
right.
or just writing, or just getting into the habit of social media, just post, you know, once every week if that's all you can do, but try and be consistent.
Right. And being easy on ourselves. I think we can be very, very, we're our own worst critics. And I think that's true. Just like being easier on ourselves, and especially in these times. I mean,
Sure.
we have to, if
Yeah.
to get more balance, reduce the stress. We love what we do, so how do we get this very in alignment, and continue on? So I
Yeah.
thank you so much for being on. I'm excited to work with you on going and just get more streamlined.
Yeah. Awesome, Brenda.
And yeah, and I will be sharing again this info with Angelique, and she has this coupon. So look for it in the in this Zoom video, which I'll be sharing here shortly. So thank you.
You're welcome. I'm glad to have been able to help your audience on the show, and always
Yeah,
great.
it is. It's good. We need to support one another,
Sure.
and in all aspects, business and our health and our abundance and all aspects. So okay, well, take care.
Right.
And
Thanks so much.
yeah, it was good. It was very good. Okay, bye for now.